Good afternoon, all. So, today I'm going to start the session week 10 fabrication technique for MEMS based sensor clinical perspective. So, this is a problem solving session. I'm Arpita Viswas, a PhD scholar from IIT Jodhpur in electrical engineering department. This is this is more details about me. So, I'm going to start the session. Let's wait for 2 3 minutes. Waiting for 2 3 students. Then we are going to start the session. So let's start the session. So this is the question number one. A biosensor has interdigited electrode with interconnect spacing 20 micrometer and contact pad at 30 micrometer. The sensor readout measurements from this sensor can be obtained using. So the first option is handheld multimeter. Second option is the soldering of PCB. Third option is the micro manipulator, and the fourth option is the none of the above. So go through the question and try to find out the right answer. So what is the right answer? So the right option is option C, the micro manipulator. Okay. So next move toward the question number two. If you were unsure about the chemical discard procedure, you can. First option is refer the material safety data sheet. The second option is the pour in into drain, and the third option is leave it on the bench unlabeled. The fourth option is add water to dilute the chemical and then pour it into the drain. So go through the question and try to find out the right answer. What is the right answer? So the right option is option A. Refer the material safety data sheet. Okay. So next move toward the question number three. For creating a controlled environment for cell culture, the type of incubator that can be used in. First option is O2 incubator, second option is CO2 incubator, and the third option is CO incubator, and the fourth option is CO2O3 incubator. So go through the question carefully and find out the right answer. So what is the right answer? So the right option is option B, CO2 incubator. Okay. So next move toward the question number 4. For cell growth in a controlled environment, the parameter are: the first option is 37 degree centigrade temperature, 95 relative humidity and 5% of CO2 concentration. And the second option is 27 degree centigrade temperature, 50% relative humidity, 2% CO2 concentration. And third option is 30 degrees centigrade temperature, 75% relative humidity, and 5% CO2 concentration. And the fourth option is 37-degree temperature, 50% relative humidity, 10% CO2 concentration. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right answer. So what is the right answer? Am I audible? So question number 4, the right answer is the option A. 37 degrees centigrade temperature, 95% relative humidity, and 5% of CO2 concentration. Okay. So next move toward the question number 5. Utensils for tissue culturing can be sterilized by high pressure and high temperature steam. Sterilization using: first option is O2 incubator, second option is the autoclave, the third option is the biosafety cabin, and the fourth option is the none of the above. So which one is the right answer? So question number 5, the right answer is option B, the autoclave. Okay. So next move toward the question number 6. The equipment used to concentrate the cell suspension and remove the supernatant is, the first option is the incubator, second option is the autoclave, the third option is the centrifuge, and the fourth option is the none of the above. So go through the question carefully and find out the right answer. So please try to find out the right answer. So the right option is this option C, the centrifuge. Okay. So next move toward the question number 7. The ideal way to carry the fabricated sensor outside a clean room facility is, the first option is wear a gloves and take the sensor by hand, and the second option is the use a desiccator, and the third option is use a plastic box or cover to carry the sensor, and the fourth option is seal the sensor using the Teflon tape. Seal the sensor using the Teflon tape. So go through the question carefully and find out the right option. So what is the right answer? Okay. Question number 7. So question number 7, the right answer is option B. Use a desiccator. Okay. So next move toward the question number 8. Data acquisition using a virtual bench is a more efficient experimental setup as the first option is the virtual bench can be used as an oscilloscope. Second, oscilloscope functions generator and multimeter simultaneously. And the option B is the virtual bench has a programmable power source. And the option C is both A and B, and option D is only A. So go through the question carefully and find out the right answer. So what is the right answer? Question number 8, the right answer is option C, both A and B. Okay, so the virtual bench can be used as an oscilloscope, functional generator, and multimeter simultaneously. And the virtual bench also has a programmable power supply. So both is the right answer. So next move toward the question number 9. Which among the following holds true? So first is PPE depends on the process handled. Second option is PPE can be worn and stored only inside the clean room growing area. And the third option is contaminated PPE should be washed or discarded accordingly so that the next user does not come in contact with it. And the fourth option is all of the above. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right answer. So what is the right answer? Question number 9. The right answer is all of the above. Okay. So next move toward the question number 10. Which of the following statement is or are true? First option is keep the UV light on while working in the biosafety cabinet, and the second option is ensure hands are washed before and after using the biosafety cabinet. Third option is the disinfect the surface of the cabinet before use. And the fourth option is the disinfect all the items that are taken in and out of the biosafety cabin. So first option is 2, 3 and 4, and the second option is 3 and 4 option only. And the option 3 is 1 and 2, and the option D is all of the above. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right answer. So what is the right answer? The right answer is option A. Okay, 2, 3 and 4. So ensure hand are washed before and after using the biosafety cabinet, and also disinfect the surface of the cabinet before use, and disinfect all the items that are taken in and out of the biosafety cabinet. So right option is option A. So next move toward the question number 11. What is the function of biosafety hood in a laboratory? First option is to provide a sterile environment for food preparation. Second option is to protect the personnel from hazardous materials and prevent the contamination. And the option C is to control the room temperature and humidity. And the option D is to reduce the noise level in the lab. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right answer. So, what is the right answer? The right answer is option B, to protect the personnel from hazardous materials and prevent the contamination. So, next move toward the question number 12. What is the difference between BSL-1 and BSL-4 biosafety label? First option is BSL-1 is used for non-pathogenic organism, while BSL-4 is for the high-risk organism like Ebola. And second option is BSL-1 is for the chemical safety and BSL-4 is for the electrical safety. And option C is BSL-1 is for temperature control and BSL-4 is for the pressure control. And the option D is BSL-1 is used to clinical diagnostics and BSL-4 is used for animal testing. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So what is the right option? The question 12, the right option is option A. BSL-1 is used for non-pathogenic organism, and while BSL-4 is for high-risk organism like Ebola. So next move to the question number 13. What is the microatome used for? First option is to separate the blood cell for plasma. The second option is to cut extremely thin slice of biological tissue for observation under a microscope. And option C is to centrifuge sample at high speed. And the fourth is mix the cell culture media. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right answer. So what is the right answer? So question number 13, option B is the right answer, to cast extremely thin slice of biological tissue for observation under a microscope. Okay. So next move toward the question number 14. What is the purpose of cryopreservation in biological research? So first option is to incubate the cell at 37 degrees centigrade. The second option is to store the biological materials such as cell or tissue at very low temperature as low as minus 196 degrees centigrade for long-term preservation. And option C, to observe the cell in real time under a microscope. And option D is to sterilize biological sample before use. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right answer. So the right option is option B, to store the biological materials such as a cell or tissues at very low temperature as low as minus 196 degrees centigrade for long term preservation. Okay. So next move toward the question number 15. What is the role of media in cell culture? So first option is to regulate the air pressure in the incubator. Second option is to provide the essential nutrient and support the growth of cell outside the body. And the third option is to sterilize the cell culture environment. And the fourth option is to maintain the temperature of the cell culture. So go through the question carefully and find out the right answer. So the right option is option B, to provide the essential nutrients and support the growth of cell outside the body. Okay. So next move toward the question number 16. What is the correct procedure for wearing a nitrile gloves in a microfabrication lab? So first option is to wear gloves loosely without tracking them into the sleeves. Second option is gloves should cover the cuts of the cuffs of the lab coat to ensure a full seal. And the third option is gloves should be worn after entering the lab. And the option D is no specific procedure is required for wearing gloves. So what is the right answer? So right answer is option B. Gloves should cover the cuffs of the lab coat to ensure a full seal. So next, question number 17. Why is wearing a face mask important in the micro fabrication lab? First option is to avoid the spreading germs to other people. Second is to protect the face from light exposure. Third, to prevent the inhaling hazardous chemicals and avoid the contamination, the clean room environment. And option D, to prevent the facial injuries falling object. So what is the right answer? So the right answer is option C, to prevent the inhaling hazardous chemicals and avoid contaminating the clean room environment. So next move toward the question number 18. What is the role of headscarf in the growing procedure for a lab? So first, to keep the head warm in the cold lab environment, and second is to prevent the dust or hair particles from the contaminating and clean room. And third option is to protect the head from chemicals spa- splashes. And option D, to improve the ventilation inside the lab. So right option is option B, to prevent the dust or hair particles from the contaminating the clean room. Okay. Next question number 19. What is the most appropriate course of action if someone wearing the prescriptions glasses need to use the goggles in the lab? First, they should remove their glasses and wear the goggles directly. Second is they should wear a gloves over their glasses to maintain the clear vision and ensure safety. The option C is they should avoid using the goggles altogether. And option D is they should use the contact lenses instead of glasses. So the right option is option B. They should wear a goggles there over their glasses to maintain a clear vision and ensure safety. Okay. So next move toward the question number 20. What is the refrigerator in a microfabrication lab maintained at 4 degrees centigrade? The first option is to store a food for lab personnel. So second option is to prevent the chemicals from freezing. So third option, to maintain the stability and integrity of sensitive chemical like antibodies. And option D is to cool down the equipment after use. So, what is the right option? The right option is option C, to maintain the stability, integrity to sensitive chemicals like antibodies. Question number 21 is, what is the main consequence of leaving the lab refrigerator open for too long? First option is the freeze will shut down automatically. Second option is the chemicals stored inside may get spoiled due to the rising temperature. The option C is the lab will lose power. And option D is the refrigerator will start cooling faster. So what is the right answer? So take your time and try to solve the question. So what is the right answer? The right answer is option B. The chemicals stored inside may get spoiled due to the rising temperature. Okay. So next move toward the question number 22. What parameter is not typically considered for effective lesion formation during the catheter's ablation? First is the power output, second is the catheter stability, third is the catheter diameter, and fourth option is the patient weight. So go through the question carefully and try to find out. Right option is option D, patient weight. Okay. So next move toward the question number 23. What is the main goal of the hypothesis in the context of the research process described? First option is to create a theory without testing. Second, to design a sensor and predict the outcomes based on the input provided. And the third option is to compare the different sensor design without testing them. And the fourth option is to conduct the experiment without any expectations. So, what is the right answer? Option B is the right answer, to design a sensor and predict the outcome based on the input provided. Okay. So next move toward the question number 24. What is the function of the desiccator in the lab? So first option, to provide a sterile environment for conducting experiment. Second, to store the chemical at low temperature. Third, to prevent the contamination of fabricated devices during the transportation to the lab. And the fourth option is to remove the moisture from the lab sample. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right answer. So 24 is the right answer is option C, to prevent the contamination of fabricated device during the transportations and to the lab. Okay. So next is the question number 25. What does class 10,000 represent in a clean room environment? First, the temperature in the clean room. Second, the number of peoples allowed in the clean room. Third, the maximum allowed particle matters above the 5 micron. And the fourth option is the number of HEPA filter in the clean room. So what is the right answer? So try to find out the right answer. So the right option is option C. The maximum allowed particulates matter above 5 micron. Okay. So next move toward the question number 26. What is the role of HEPA filter in a clean room environment? So to control the humidity, second to filter out the particulates matter and maintain the clean room. C is to regulate the temperature of the clean room. Fourth, to circulate the air inside the clean room. So the right option is option B, to filter out particulate matter and maintain the clean air. So next question is, what is the purpose of positive pressure module in the clean room? First option is to increase the humidity inside the lab. Second, to push clean air into the lab and maintain a higher pressure to prevent the particulates from entering. And the option C is to reduce the air pressure inside the lab. And option D is to cool down the equipment. So what is the right answer? So right answer is option B, to push the clean air into the lab and maintain a higher pressure to prevent the particulates from the entering. Okay. So next question is 28. What is the combined purpose of the positive pressure module and tower modules in the clean room? So first, to regulate the temperature and humidity in the clean room. Second, to circulate the maintain clean air, ensuring a low particulates matter counts. And option C is to store the equipment in a sterilized environment. And option D is to cool down the clean room equipment. So what is the right answer? So the right answer is option B, to circulate the maintain clean air, ensuring a low particulates matter count. So next question number 29. Why is the important to follow a good lab practice events with the use of HEPA filter? So first, to maintain the proper functioning of lab environment. Second is the because of HEPA filter have limitations and can be overloaded if not properly maintained. And option C, to reduce the electricity consumption in the lab. And the option fourth is the to prevent the filter from cooling the lab too much. So go through the question carefully and find out the right answer. So what is the right answer? Right answer is option B, because HEPA filter have limitations and can be overloaded if not properly maintained. Okay. So next, the question number 30. What is the role of the pressure gauge on the vacuum pump? So first option is to measure the amount of air inside the desiccator. Second, to indicate the pressure inside the desiccator and ensure that a vacuum is created. The option C is to increase the speed of air removal, and option D is to regulate the power supply to the desiccator. So what is the right answer? So the right answer is option B, to indicate the pressure inside the desiccator and ensure that a vacuum is created. Okay. So next, move toward the question number 31. What does the vacuum pump connected to the desiccator do? First is it cools down the sensor, and the second option is to suck air out of the desiccator to create a vacuum, and the third option, it increases the air pressure inside the desiccator, and the option D is it cleans the sensor using the compressed air. So go through the question carefully and find out the right answer. So what is the right answer? Question number 31. The right answer is option B. It stuck air out of the desiccator to create a vacuum. Okay. So next move toward the question number 32. What is the primary function of an impedance analyzer in sensor testing? First, to measure the voltage only. Second, to characterize and test sensor based on the impedance, capacitance, and inductance. And third option is to create a vacuum environment for testing sensor. And the fourth option is to regulate the temperature of the sensor. So try to find out the right answer. So, what is the right answer? The question number 32, the right answer is option B. To characterize and test sensor based on the impedance, capacitance, and inductance. Okay. So, next move toward the question number 33. What is the limitation of using the multimeter instead of an impedance analyzer for sensing sensor testing? First is to multimeter is not a portable. Second, multimeter cannot measure voltage. Third, a multimeter operate at fixed or limited frequency and lacks sensitivity. And option D is multimeter consume more power. So what is the right answer? So the right answer is option C. A multimeter operates at a fixed or limited frequency and lack sensitivity. Okay. So next move toward the question number 34. Um, what is the frequency range of what is the typical range of frequencies that an impedance analyzer can measure? First, 1 hertz to 1 megahertz, then 100 hertz to 500 kilohertz, then 20 hertz to 5 megahertz, and 10 hertz or to 10 megahertz. So, what is the right answer? So, the right option is option C, 20 hertz to 5 megahertz. Then question number 35. What is the recommended to apply low voltage during the sensor testing with the impedance analyzer? First, to avoid the damaging the sensor, as they have as they may have the critical layers or components sensitive to high voltage. Second, to step up the measurement process. Third, to ensure the faster calibration. Fourth, to avoid the overloading the equipment. So what is the right answer? So the right answer is option A. To avoid the damaging the sensor, as they may have the critical layer or component sensitive to high voltage. Okay. So next move toward the question number 36. What happens to the impedance of a capacitor as the frequency increases during the testing? First option, the impedance increases. Second, the impedance remain constant. And option C is the impedance decreases. And option D, the impedance fluctuates randomly. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right answer. So what is the right answer? Question number 36. The right answer is option C. The impedance decreases because the F equal to, we know that 1 by omega C, right? So if C is increases, then F will decreases. Or the F is increases, then C is decreases. So next move toward the question number 37. What is the advantage of using software with an impedance analyzer? First, it increases the accuracy of the measurement. Second, it allows the equipment sweep through the frequencies automatically and record data without manual input. And third option is it reduces the need of the calibration. And option D is it increases the power output of the equipment. So what is the right answer? So go through the question and find out the right answer. So find out the right answer. So question number 37, the right answer is option B. Uh, It allows the equipment to sweep through the frequencies automatically and record data without the manual input. Okay. So next move toward the question number 38. Which type of sensor was shown in the demonstration in the lecture? First is the temperature sensor, then pressure sensor, then capacitive sensor with interdigited electrodes, and the option D is the magnetic sensor. So what is the right answer? Please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right answer. So the right answer is option B. Okay. Sorry. The question number 38. The answer is option C, capacitive sensor with interdigited electrode. So next move toward the question number 39. What is the primary function of the National Instrument virtual bench in the clean room facility? First, to cool down the fabricated sensor. Second, to provide the signal, acquire data, and record the output from the fabricated sensor. Third, to store the sensor in a vacuum environment. And option D is to clean the sensor with the high pressure air. So what is the right answer? Question number 39. So the right answer is option B, to provide signals, acquire data, and record the output from fabricated sensor. So next move toward the question number 40. So this is the last question. Which of the following functionalities can the National Instrument virtual bench platform? First is the function generator, oscilloscope, and DC power supply. Second is the signal analyzer, desiccator, and temperature control. And the option C is the chemical analyzer, humidity sensor, and air filter. And option D is the signal generator, vacuum pump, and multimeter. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right answer. So the right answer is option A, function generator, oscilloscope, and DC power supply. Okay, so here we are ending ending our session today. So next we will meet next Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m.